Hello guys, it's Kevin, State & Co. Truck Insurance. In today's video, we'll talk about 5 reasons why truckers go out of business. And this year is kind of an exception because typically over past decade, we've seen about 3,000 authority revocations every single month. In 2022, this number hit about 6,000 every single month. And again, because of the pressures in the market, the loads paying, the lowest ever, the fuel prices going up. That number has just been going up, up, and up. And the reasons being, especially when the new truckers get into this industry, is budgeting yourself is probably one of the most important factors. A lot of times truckers start by scrambling money for the down payment for the truck, for the insurance. They plunge it all, they start, and then they realize it's not as easy. It takes months to sign up with brokers, and some brokers will not give you loads until you've been active for 3 months. You're still learning the industry and not making as much as you were anticipated. So budgeting is very important. And always have, if you can, additional $5, $10, $20,000 on the side for the first 6 months in this business. Number 2, growing too fast. A lot of times, I talk to those truckers every single day. They get their authority set up, up and running, everything's fine, and then they start hiring owner-operators that are leased onto their authority. Many times it's friends and family, and many times it's unexperienced truckers that had their commercial driver's licenses for maybe 2 months or 6 months. And what happens with those that, they just don't know what they don't know. Typically 2-3 months in the business, they start racking up DOT violations. It might not seem like a big deal, but then guess what? When the renewal comes in 12 months for the trucking insurance, because of those violations, the insurance is going to go up. It can double in price. And in some cases, in the worst case scenario, you might get not renewed at all because, those owner operators racked up numerous violations. And a lot of times people will say, well, this guy is no longer running for me. He was a fool. I fired him. But the thing is that the violations will stay attached to your authority for 24 months. And there is really, not much you can do about it. Number 3, you have to know the market. When you are booking and bidding on that load that's taking you from Charlotte, North Carolina to Florida, you kind of have to know what you're going to be bringing back from Florida, and you kind of have to be anticipating and knowing what the rates are in that state. So do the research, because some markets are seasonal, so know what's moving in which state, and if you end up going to Minnesota, are you going to be able to get well-paying load to come back? So knowing the market, doing the research, talking to other truckers and understanding what's moving, what freight is moving is very important. Number 3 is willingness to adapt. The market changes rapidly, month to month, and that's where, again, you kind of have to know the market. And if you see that, the dry van is probably not not what you anticipated, maybe switch to flatbed. Car hauling also could be an option, but then again, you kind of have to give it some time. Don't just flip-flop and say, hey, this month I'm driving, next month I'm car hauling, and in 5 months I'm flatbed. Do the research, understand all the nuances and implications, when it comes to deliver those types of loads, because it's a completely different world when you're running dry van and then starting car hauling. You have to know all those nuances with brokers. You have to know the requirements. You have to understand how to secure the load because, again, dry van and now, loading cars on the car hauler, it's a completely different experience. And the insurance, the price of the insurance will depend on that as well. If you're just general freight, but then you add reefer or start doing flatbed, you have to tell your insurance company, so they have to know what type of a business subcategory you are. And the number 5 is, and we kind of already touched upon that, is the DOT safety audits. All those inspections that that they pull you over and check your paperwork and walk around the truck. I mean, that's going to make or break you in this business. We've seen it time after time where, 12 months go by, renewal comes up, and truckers just pulling their hair because, oh, wow, I didn't know there's like 5 inspections and 3 violations. And because of that, my safety scores are down the drain. And then the insurance is talking about, increasing from 20,000 for one truck to $40,000. And in some worst case scenarios, you will not get renewed at all, and no insurance will pick you up at all because they see those DOT violations, they see those safety scores, and what happens typically, people just follow that company and hopefully start a different one. But everything's connected, and insurance companies and FMCSA, they usually connect the dots, so that kind of history stays attached. So do yourself a favor, from day one, make sure everything's by the book, all the requirements and all the compliance that FMCSA, asks you to have. You have to stay on top of that. That's all I have for today. Stay safe, happy holidays, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Bye.